Okay, now for the fuselage here, you're going to need a few things. Number one, you're going to need the guide. Number two, you're going to need a glue stick. And number three, you're going to need a piece of paper. And number four, you're going to need the sticky tape. And number five, you're going to need a damp paper towel. Once you have all those things, you sit down and get ready to work. All right, first thing we're going to do is we're going to take and put this guide stick, and we're going to roll the paper onto the guide stick. We're going to go one whole time around. This allows for the paper to be the only thing touching it, okay? And you can even go extra if you want to. Make sure it gets all the way around one whole time. I've had some students in the past not make it around, and it makes a big mess, and we have to restart it. So if you don't go all the way around one whole time, you're going to have to redo this, okay? Because there's no way to get it off. And then there's no way to have a rocket. Number two, we're going to roll it tightly right there. You got to take your glue stick now, and it's important to get the edges, okay? Especially that edge and this edge, the outside edges. The rest of it you can just do a kind of a light glue, all right? I do this mostly just to help me out later on. All right, so you quickly glue that up. Make sure you put the cap back on the glue stick. We don't have a lot of supplies left this late in the year. So you roll it on as tight as you can, with as smooth as you can, because the wrinkles will show up throughout the final product. So anything mishap in the beginning steps right now will show up later on in the final product. Okay, that's done now. You can set that kind of aside. You're going to take your sticky tape, and I generally like to not rip it in half because I would like to start it, but you're going to come in at an angle, and it's very important that you come in at an angle. So I tend to lay it down like this, then I move my guide and I wet the sticky tape right where I'm going to work, and it's already sticking my finger, so I know it's ready to go. And you roll it right on there, stick it down there, and you continue now to roll and wet as you roll. So as you roll, you're just simply wetting it, and sometimes it helps to even pick it up just slightly and just use your fingers like this. However you feel that is easiest for you to roll on the sticky tape is the way I suggest you do it. Once again, notice that I'm using the smallest guide. I want my rocket to go the highest, alright? The engines we have in the classroom don't allow for any larger rockets to get that high and work that successfully. So I rolled it down completely once. Now I like to go twice, okay? This time I want to come a little bit in the opposite direction. So I'm going to do the exact same thing with sticking it, laying it down, and wetting it, sticking it back on there at the angle. Alright, and then I continue to go around the fuselage. Alright, much like you see right now. As I continue to go around the fuselage. Alright, I'm being careful not to get any wrinkles in the paper because it's going to show up throughout the rest of the rocket. Alright, you will always see those wrinkles. So almost done. 3, 2, and 1. Okay, now I rip it at the end here, and I wet that, rip that, and then just taper it in. Alright, and that is all that it takes. Tomorrow we're going to cut these edges off. So I'm just going to show you that really quickly right now. Now, of course, you can measure to the length that you desire to cut the edges off. Alright, using a ruler and based on your drawing. Okay. For argumentative sake, we're going to say my rocket's going to be 8 inches long. I'm not going to want to cut it right at the end because I want to start with a fresh edge. So I'm going to just make a cut right where it looks like it's starting to get nice. And then I'll just double check that I still the 8 inches. And so I'm going to take my scissors and I'm going to make 2 cuts. Alright, number 1 on that line. And I suggest waiting a day so it doesn't curl like that. But if you do it the same day, make sure you get it nice and straight again. Okay, and then once again, I'll do this one right here. Another nice firm cut. And then straighten it up again. Now it's important to let this dry, let it harden up so that it's ready to go. And you'll notice I do have a few wrinkles right there. Those aren't the greatest, but not the hugest deal. But otherwise, this looks really, really good, and it's going to fly really well. All right, so that's number one.